If you're not familiar with Hayden Christensen, he was Anakin Skywalker in the Star Wars prequel trilogy. That's where he rose to fame, or infamy, some might say, because in his role as the young Anakin Skywalker, aka Darth Vader, and if you've seen the movies but are unfamiliar, there's one of the prequel Star Wars where Anakin is just a little kid. That's not Hayden. That's another kid, Jake Lloyd. That's another story. In Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, Hayden Christensen is Anakin, and we see his descent into Darth Vader, okay?
And not just the men, but the women, and the children too.
Notorious films for being quite bad, for being poorly written, and George Lucas does cop a lot of that flack, but Hayden Christensen does as well. Often he is criticized for his woeful acting in these films from critics and fans, but personally, and this could crucify me, I always loved him, and I thought he was an amazing Anakin Skywalker. I always loved Hayden Christensen as Anakin, right? Here's an example of some of the most memed, notoriously bad dialogue in Star Wars, and a lot of people think the acting was only bad because George Lucas's writing and directing was bad in these, but here's a classic line from Star Wars Episode 2.
I don't like sand. It's coarse, rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Okay, so that's it there. Make of that what you will, and that's what Hayden sounds like. I feel like as a society, we're not talking enough about the resurgence of Hayden Christensen and his amazing popularity gain in the last 5 years, because I gotta be honest, I think the Star Wars movies he was in kind of killed his career. I think there's only one other movie I can remember him being in, which was this other movie called Jumper, which was another kind of sci-fi movie that was, I'm pretty sure it was a flop, but it was about these guys that could teleport anywhere they want. And the other guy in the movie is the guy that played Billy Elliot, the dancer in Billy Elliot, which is funny. But that, and I actually really like that movie, probably because I love Hayden Christensen, right? I always thought he was great, but apparently other people didn't. Then I think it just killed his career, right? I didn't see him in anything for a very long time. And then, bam, Disney Plus is like, we're making an Obi Wan Kenobi series, and we're putting Hayden Christensen in as Darth Vader / Anakin. It happens. He fucking blows it out of the park. He absolutely nails it. It is amazing. It is so cool seeing him again. There is that iconic moment that I think I actually talked about on this podcast a few years ago, where Obi-Wan and Darth Vader are having a lightsaber battle, and Obi-Wan smashes Darth Vader's mask, and you see Hayden Christensen's face inside. You're reminded that behind the mask, Darth Vader is Anakin. He is human, right? And Hayden Christensen mixed in with the vintage classic James Earl Jones Darth Vader voice, right? Their voices combine and you get this beautiful moment.
Anakin's gone. I am what remains.
And from that moment, I feel like Hayden Christensen was just back, right? It's like, nah, he's good. We love him. Then they make another Star Wars TV series. Admittedly, I haven't watched it. I do really want to watch it. I should start watching it. Ahsoka. And Ahsoka in Star Wars was Anakin's Padawan, like his trainee. Anakin was training Ahsoka before he became Darth Vader. And what do you know? Hayden Christensen appears again in Ahsoka, right? And apparently he blows it out of the park again. And here's what I think. I am so happy Hayden Christensen is getting this redemption arc, right? Because he is awesome. I think he's the coolest dude ever. I think he's great. And that's why when I saw this news headline on Twitter the other day, my heart just started beating so much faster because I was so happy to see that Hayden Christensen is rumored to be the voice actor for Shadow the Hedgehog in the third Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Does that mean anything to you? Because it means something to me. I mean, the Sonic the Hedgehog movies are like just really dumb, kiddie fun, but I love Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, I love those games and I love those characters. And, you know, you've kind of, I'm sure most people will be familiar with that core trio of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. Sonic, it was just Sonic in the first movie, and then in the second movie, they introduced Tails and Knuckles, right? Really cool. And the second movie ends with a post-credit scene where Shadow appears. Shadow is like the black Sonic. His whole fur is black, not blue. And he's like the bad guy. He's like evil. And I genuinely cannot think of a better voice actor for Shadow the Hedgehog than Hayden Christensen. I just think he will nail, like, even if he just does exactly what he did as Anakin, that like teen emo kind of vibe, he will nail it. Like, this is like I just picked a random Shadow the Hedgehog line off YouTube.
It was 1 month before the Doctor took over the world.
And then of course we have Hayden.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
I am so happy, so pleased that Hayden Christensen is having this comeback because my boy deserves it. My boy Hayden deserves it. He did not deserve that hate. He is a very lovely man and a wonderful actor, and I cannot wait for him to be the voice of Shadow the Hedgehog in the new Sonic the Hedgehog movie. On ya, Hayden. Get on it. Do it.